Let's start by examining consumption tax. In this diagram, we have consumer surplus represented by the area above the price and below the demand curve, and producer surplus represented by the area below the price and above the supply curve. When a consumption tax is imposed, the supply curve shifts vertically upwards by the amount of the tax. This reduces consumer surplus and producer surplus, as is represented by the shrinking areas of the triangles. Additionally, we observe deadweight loss, which is the loss of economic efficiency due to the tax. It's represented by the shaded area between the new supply curve and demand curve extending to the original equilibrium quantity. Let's start by Next, let's discuss import tariffs. In this diagram, we have the domestic supply and demand curves along with the world price. When a tariff is imposed on imports, it effectively raises the price of imported goods to customer, shifting the supply curve leftwards by the amount of the tariff. This reduces imports and increased domestic production, but also led to a decrease in consumer surplus, producer surplus, and also deadweight loss. The deadweight loss here is similar to that of a consumption tax, representing the loss of overall economic efficiency. Now let's extend our analysis to the macroeconomy. In this aggregate demand and aggregate supply model, we see how consumption taxes impact the economy. When consumption taxes are imposed, they decrease disposable income and consequently consumer spending. They shift the aggregate demand curve leftwards. Meanwhile, the aggregate supply curve may also shift due to changes in production costs. The overall effect is potential decreases in both output and price level, depending on the relative magnitudes of the shift in AD and AS. But can taxes have long-term benefits for the economy? Let's consider a tax aimed at improving public health, like a tax on unhealthy food. In the AD and AS model, such a tax might lead to a healthier population, reducing healthcare costs and increasing productivity. This could potentially shift the long run aggregate supply curve outwards, leading to higher output and lower price in the long terms. Finally, let's discuss how we can empirically assess the health and economic consequences of a fat tax. Directed acyclic graphs or DAGs are useful tools for modeling causal relationships. By constructing a DAG, we can identify variables such as consumption of unhealthy foods, health outcomes, and economic indicators. We can then use econometric technique to estimate the impact of the tax on both health and economic growth, providing valuable insight for policymakers. In conclusion, taxes have significant effects on consumer and producer welfare, as well as on the macroeconomy. Whether it's through consumption taxes or import tariff, understanding this impact is crucial for designing effective economic policies. Furthermore, by considering the long-term benefits and conducting empirical analysis, we can make informed decisions that promote both health and economic prosperity.